योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्ताः सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यां च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. The sixth shloka in Vishnu Sahasranama is Abrameyo Krishikeshah Padmanabho Maraprabho Vishwakarma Manustvashta Stavishtastaviro Dhruvaha. There are 9 words, padas in this shloka. They are Abrameyah, Krishikeshah, Padmanabha, Amaraprabhu, Vishwakarma, Manu, Tvashta, Stavishta, Staviro Dhruvaha. There are 9 words in this shloka, and the first word is Aprameya. Aprameya means the direct meaning is that which cannot be grasped by the 5 sense organs, that which is beyond the 5 sense organs. So that is the direct meaning. In what way it cannot be perceived by the 5 senses? That one has to analyze deeply. According to Vedanta, there are 6 important pramanas. Pramana means the way of understanding. That is a method of understanding. That is pramana. There are 6 important pramanas in Vedanta. The first is the pratyaksha pramana. That is any object that can be perceived by the 5 sense organs. That is the pratyaksha pramana. I can see my system before me. It is pratyaksha to my eyes. So I can perceive it. So all like this I can hear the sound. That which can be perceived by the 5 sense organs is pratyaksha pramana. Bhagavan Vishnu is beyond the 5 sense organs. He cannot be perceived by the 5 sense organs. So he is beyond the pratyaksha pramana. The next pramana is Anumana pramana. Anumana means inference, understanding by inference. That means, for example, I see smoke coming from there, from a distant mountain. So I immediately perceive that there is fire there. There is fire, and so the smoke is coming from that mountain. So to come to this conclusion, to infer like this, I must have perceived or seen the fire and smoke before. It must have been my experience. I must have seen fire and the smoke coming out of it. So by that, I now understand that there is smoke coming, so there must be fire. So how did I perceive the smoke and the fire as my experience before? I perceived with my 5 senses. So pratyaksha pramana is applied there. Without pratyaksha pramana, there cannot be any anumana pramana. I had experience before and now I can conclude. But Bhagavan Vishnu is beyond the pratyaksha pramana and beyond the anumana pramana itself. So, Anumana Pramana cannot be applied on Bhagavan Vishnu. I cannot infer. So, the next Pramana is the Upamana Pramana. Upamana means analogy or a comparison. Bhagavan is non dual. There is no one else like Bhagavan. Then, how can I compare Analogy can, to an extent, we can comprehend Bhagavan by analogy to an extent, but not completely. So Bhagavan Vishnu is beyond the Upamana Pramana. So that is the third Pramana. He is Pratyaksha Pramana cannot be applied to Bhagavan. Anumana Pramana cannot be applied. Upamana Pramana cannot be applied. And the fourth is the Arthapatti Pramana. Arthapatti means deriving out of circumstances. That is, for example, I say that Sita is fasting in the day for 1 month. But after 1 week, when I see her, I can see her very fat and more stronger than before. So, how will I conclude that she is fasting in the day? So, that means she is fasting in the day and she is eating well, taking fruits and vegetables in the night. That must be the only reason, or otherwise, she will become weak and weak. Now, she's very fat and stronger than before. So, from that circumstance, I derive that Sita must be eating well in the night. So there is contradiction here. She is fasting, that is one thing, and she is the result is she is growing stronger and stronger. So both these are contradictory and negative. Both are contradictory. But in the case of Bhagavan, this cannot be applied because Bhagavan is that experience in which all the experiences exist. There is no contradiction in Bhagavan. So, Arthapatti Pramana cannot be applied. The next is the Anupalapti Pramana. Anupalapti Pramana means to perceive the absence of an object or a matter. For example, I have the glass of water near me. Suppose if I drink that water, then the glass will be empty. So I can perceive the absence of water in that glass. Like that, we can perceive the absence of many objects or some matter in this world. But can we experience the absence of Bhagavan? He is everywhere. He is the Sakshi. He is the Sakshi of that absence itself. And so, Anupalapti Pramana also cannot be applied in this context. So, he is beyond the Anupalaptic Pramana. The last Pramana is the Shabda Pramana. That is, by words, we can understand by words or we can perceive by testimony or like that. Suppose I have not gone to Himalayas and I read a lot about Himalayas, so I understand well about Himalayas. And many people have gone there. I meet them and get information from them. So I know about Himalayas well. But Bhagavan, he is beyond the expression, beyond any kind of expression. He cannot be expressed by words. So no one can express him or explain him. Even the great rishis, they have been in union with Bhagavan for such a long time. But if you ask them, they will only be silent because the Bhagavan Vishnu or Brahman is beyond words. The Upanishad, the Acharyas, the Granthas, they explain about Bhagavan. But if by that one cannot completely comprehend on Bhagavan, or otherwise, if we read the scriptures, then that is enough. So, but that's not possible. Shravana and Manana, to an extent, we can understand Bhagavan. But we have to do Nididhyasana, contemplate on ourselves. Only then, by our Anubhuti, we can experience Bhagavan. He is that existence on which the Vedas itself exist. Then how can Vedas reveal Bhagavan completely? So to our knowledge, to our basic knowledge, we can use the Vedas. But to comprehend Bhagavan, we have to meditate and do Nityasyana, contemplate on Bhagavan. So that pramana also cannot be used. He is beyond, Bhagavan is beyond that Shabda Pramana. So here, Shabda Pramana also cannot be applied. So does that mean that he is absent? No. He is that existence itself. He is that Sakshi. He is that existence on which we all exist. So how do we know that? My own existence itself is the proof. More proof if I want, I have to meditate on Bhagavan, be in union with him, then we will understand. So when something is beyond the six pramanas of Vedanta and it is present, then it is called as aprameya. So Bhagavan Vishnu is called aprameya. So that's the meaning of the first word aprameya. The next word is Hrishikesha. Hrishikesha, the direct meaning is one who has beautiful curly dark hair. Bhagavan Vishnu has that hair, and in his avatar as Lord Krishna, Arjuna, he addresses Bhagavan Krishna many times in Bhagavad Gita as Hrishikesha, oh Hrishikesha, like that he will address. So that's the direct meaning and one meaning of the word Hrishikesha. The next meaning is Krishika means Indriyas. Bhagavan Vishnu is the Lord of the Indriyas. Because in the beginning, we grasp this knowledge, Atma Vidya, or about Bhagavan through our five senses. So he is the Lord of the senses. Now we are doing that. We are understanding, trying to understand Bhagavan at least to a certain extent by our five sense organs, by our indriyas, to an extent. But he is beyond that. After a certain level, our knowledge develops and it goes beyond the five senses and the mind. But to an extent, in the beginning, we grasp about Bhagavan through the five sense organs, through the indriyas. And so Bhagavan Vishnu is called as the Lord of the Indriyas, and he is the Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna means who controls the mind and the body. And because of these two reasons, he is called as the Hrishikesha, the Lord of the senses, Indriyas. The next meaning is, in the last verse, that is in the Shloka 5, Bhagavan Vishnu is called Aditya, which means he is that Purusha in the Surya Mandala and giving light and happiness to all the beings in this world. So that Purusha in Aditya, that is in the Surya Mandala, is Bhagavan Vishnu. And the rays of the sun and also the moon, because that also illuminates the world to a certain extent. So the rays of the sun and the moon are compared with the hair of Bhagavan. When the sun rises up, by its rays, it illumines the entire world and it gives happiness to every being. And so that rays of the sun is compared with the kesha, the hair of Bhagavan. And so by that meaning also Bhagavan Vishnu is called Hrishikesha. So that's the different meanings of the word Hrishikesha. The next is the word Padmanabha. Padma means we all know it is the lotus flower, and Nabha means the Nabhi, that is the navel of Bhagavan. So we have seen pictures that Bhagavan Vishnu in his deep slumber, and a lotus flower coming out from the Nabhi of the Bhagavan, and on the full blown lotus flower, Lord Brahmaji is sitting on it and meditating. So that's how we see in the picture. That's how this concept is depicted as image. The lotus flower symbolizes the creation. because there are many petals in lotus flower, and many it symbolifies the infinity. So the creation, the created beings are infinite, and so creation is always compared with the lotus flower. So that's why the stem of the lotus flower is coming from the Nabhi of the Bhagavan. And Brahmaji is sitting on that, means Brahma, Lord Brahma, is the totality of the subtle minds of this creation. And he is called as, otherwise called as Hiranya Garbha. That is the totality of the subtle mind of this creation. From that, meditating on that subtle minds, he create that different. He brings out the different levels of creation. So, what is the importance of this? Because the lotus flower, the creation is coming from the Nabhi. Nabhi means the navel of Bhagavan. Around the Nabhi is the Manipuraka chakra. The Manipuraka chakra is very important, and it is the third chakra among the seven chakras. So, what is there in the macrocosm is the same in the microcosm, that is in the human beings. What is there in the form of Bhagavan is the same in the human beings also. Human beings are called as microcosm, and Bhagavan is macrocosm. So the Nabhi of the Bhagavan, around that is the Manipuraka chakra. Manipuraka chakra is the center where the transformation of energy takes place. So the power of consciousness, it converts into matter and energy in the Manipuraka chakra around that Nabhi. Beyond that Manipuraka chakra is the Swadhisthana chakra, which represents the water element, and the Mooladhara chakra, that is the first chakra that is connected with the earth element, Prithvi. So they are all heart matter. Above this Manipuraka chakra is the Anahata chakra, which is connected with the Vayu, and the Vishuddhi chakra with Akasha ether, and the third eye, that is the third eye of Bhagavan Shiva, the Ajna chakra, that is complete wisdom. That's why when that Ajna chakra is open, then Bhagavan Shiva, he will burn everything by his Jnana Agni. That's the right meaning of it. And above that is the Sahasrara chakra. So above this Manipuraka chakra, everything is very subtle. And below this Manipuraka chakra is hard matter, gross matter. So it is that point, that Manipuraka chakra, that which is around the Nabhi, that navel, that is the exact point where the transformation of energy from the subtle thought takes its form as matter. So that is the point where the subtle thought or the subtle energy converts into reality. That is as this creation. And that's why the lotus flower, the creation, is coming from the Nabhi of the Bhagavan. Or otherwise, if all the subtle thoughts are in the mind of the Bhagavan, then it could have been depicted like the lotus flower coming from the mind of the Bhagavan, or through the Sahasrara chakra, like that. But all that are higher level of consciousness. But that Manipuraka chakra is that junction where the transformation of energy takes place, and it is that Manipuraka chakra which attracts everything. So it will keep everything in union, and it is that chakra which emanates willpower or confidence, everything. That is the Manipuraka chakra. Even in human beings, if a person meditate on the Manipuraka chakra, then he will have the power to bring his thoughts into reality. And not only that, if a person is weak and if he meditate on the Manipuraka chakra, then this Manipuraga chakra connects our energy, individual energy, with the universal energy, and it draws or attracts universal energy and balances our energy, balance our energy level. So that important is the third chakra, that is the Manipuraga chakra. And that's why it is depicted that the entire creation is coming from the Nabhi of the Bhavan. And Brahmaji, he depicts the totality of all the subtle minds in this creation, and the lotus flower, it represents the creation itself. So, in whom the Padma, that is the lotus flower, is coming from the Nabhi, he is called Padmanabha. That's the meaning of the word Padmanabha. The fourth meaning is word is Amara Prabhu. Amara means one who has crossed the death. That is, we can say them as sages. They don't die because they exist in the self. And Bhagavan Vishnu is the Lord of the sages. So by that meaning, he is called as Amara Prabhu. The other meaning is, the next meaning is, Amara means also denote the Devas. Comparing to the human beings, the Devas have relatively a longer period of life. They exist for one mantra, that is the daytime of Lord Brahma. That is, from one pralaya to another pralaya, they will be there. And one mantra means, that is the one day of Bhagavan, means many thousands of years. So they will be there, they will exist. And comparing to the human beings, their lifetime is much more than the lifetime of the human beings. Only the human beings and animals and insects, they often die, they often leave their body. So Bhagavan Vishnu is the Lord of the Devas. That's why Bhagavan Vishnu protect the Devas, because they have to exist for this much period of time. So Bhagavan Vishnu is the Lord of the Devas, and by that meaning also he is called Amara Prabhu. The fifth word is the Vishwakarma. Vishwa means world. One who created this world is Vishwakarma. And not only he created this world, he created this world with his unique powers, that this world itself exists of its own, because it governs itself by its own laws and by its own power. So that great, he created this universe, and he so is called as the Vishwakarma. Not only he created this universe, but also he sustains it, and he, in the end, he will take everything with him. So creating this universe and protecting it and taking it back, that is his karma, and so he is called as the Vishwakarma. The next meaning or the word is Manu. Bhagavan Vishnu always meditates on this world, and so he is called as Manu. That's the direct meaning. He perceived this world in his mind, and so he is called as Manu. And Acharya writes, Mantro va prajapatir va Manuhu. He is the Prajapati, and the Prajapatis are also said as Manu. Why Bhagavan Vishnu is called as Prajapati? Prajapati means Praja. That means the beings, and Pati means the protector. So the protector of all the beings in this creation, he is Prajapati. In the Grahastha order of life, in the Grahastha ashrama, a person, that is the person who is leading the Grahastha order of life, who has accepted the Grahastha order of life, that is the family life, he has to perform 16 rituals. That is according to the Sanatana Dharma and according to the Vedas. He has to perform 16 rituals in his lifetime, which is famously said as the Shodasa Samskara. Shodasa Samskaras. It includes the, that is it begin even when the child is in the womb of the mother itself. And after that, it will go on till his lifetime. And it includes the Garbhodhana, Humsavana ritual, Simanto Nayana. Simanto Nayana is done to that child because so that the child will not incur the sins committed by the parents. He will not be affected by the sins committed by the parents. Jada karma, as soon as the child is born, this ritual is done so that the child will be free from any sin, papa, that occurred during the birth of the child. Then, after that, namakarana, giving name to the child. Nishkramana, that is taking the child to the first time to show the child the universe first time. Then Annaprasana, that is making the child to experience the different taste. The different taste is connected with the different mental states. So making the child to experience the different taste. Then Vidyaramba, initiating the child with the official study, education. Then Upanayana, so that is the official or initiation of the child for the spiritual studies, Upanayana. Then Vivaha, it goes on like this. So there are 16 Shodasa samskaras that has to be performed in the lifetime of a Grahastha person who has accepted the Grahastha order of life. In all of these rituals, Bhagavan Vishnu is invoked by mantra and he is worshipped. Because he is the Prajapati, it is his duty to protect that jiva. Even when the parents they don't have a child or a progeny, they worship Bhagavan Vishnu and they do yagna to Bhagavan Vishnu as Prajapati to attain or to get progeny. So he is the protector of the jivas. It is his duty to protect the jivas because it is his need to sustain this creation. So each time, through any ritual, the Bhagavan Vishnu is invoked by the mantras, and so he is called as Prajapati, and Prajapati are also said as Manu. They are also called as Manu. And each time the devotee he meditated, does manana of Bhagavan Vishnu, and so also he is called as Manu. One who is constantly meditated or manana of his mantras or his name, the devotee, they do that, and so also he is called as Manu. So by these different meanings, Bhagavan Vishnu is called Manu. The seventh word is Twashta. Twashta means Bhagavan Vishnu during Pralaya, he brings back, that is the gross form of the beings, into their original subtle form. That is, we all are gross now. So when the Pralaya happens, all the beings they leave their gross form and they take the very subtle form. That is, during Pralaya, all of us, we leave this gross form and take the subtle form as very subtle, potent energy and remain in Bhagavan Vishnu. And see, he's doing that. He, during Pralaya, he bring back all the gross beings into their original form as a potent, subtle energy, and we all remain in him. And so Bhagavan Vishnu is called Twashta. The next meaning is Stavishtaha. Acharya writes, Adishayena Stulaha Stavishtaha. That is, he is extremely firm or uniquely firm, and so he is called Stavishtaha. He is subtle and he is so subtle and he is non-dual, infinite. And so he is so firm. Because he is firm, this entire universe is existing in him. He is that existence that is so firm so that we all move on him. I mean, before in the previous verse also I gave this explanation because this road is so firm, the vehicles can move on it, and just like that, Bhagavan Vishnu is so firm, so that we all exist on him. The next and the last word is the Staviro Dhruvaha. Stavira means ancient. Dhruva means again firm, immovable, fixed. Bhagavan Vishnu is non-dual and he is all-pervading, infinite. So when something is finite and gross, it can move in the space around it. I have my mouse near me and I can move it because it is finite, it is gross, and there is so much space around, so I can move it. Bhagavan Vishnu he created the space itself and he is infinite, then where can he move? And he is ancient also. So, by that meaning, he is called as the Staviro Dhruvaha. Staviro means ancient and Dhruva means firm, immovable. So, these are the nine words in this sixth shloka of Vishnu Sahasranama. I will explain the next verse in my next video. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि ॐ तत्सत्